I'm going to sign in as a delivery order taker. Now what we're looking at right now is the delivery order taker screen. You'll notice it's a little bit different. It doesn't have the table layout and it doesn't have a blank check. Basically what this is a screen that manages all of your delivery and pickup orders. Now just taking a look at what we've got right now. This large area, the white area with a couple of yellow lines over on the left, this is the window that contains all of the orders that are in the queue. All right, so basically delivery orders are placed and they show up within here. And from this, you can select on any one of these lines and you'll notice that the contents down below changes. These areas here contain information pertaining to that given order. So for example, I'm on this lower one right now where the member's name is Mr. Arnold Axler. You'll notice over on the left-hand side I have information pertaining to that member. And then over to the right of it, I have information pertaining to the order itself in terms of who took the order, driver who's been assigned to it, which no driver has been assigned yet, also how long it's been in the queue, how long it will be on the road, and so on like that. And just selecting one or the other, then that will change the information that shows up down there. Over on the right hand side, I also have a filter window, and within this, it allows me to filter out orders and take a look at different things within here. So the first one we have here is inquiry. So within this, I can actually retrieve a member record and just take a look at the record itself without actually opening up a check. The next one down is your trans, being your transactions, because I can have multiple order takers working in this mode. So in this one, this will show specifically the person who is logged in. Versus the next one down, which is all. This will show all orders by all delivery order takers. And then finally we have all en route, which means that this will show all of the orders, the delivery orders that are currently on the road and in the process of being delivered. We also have one here that says pickups as well. So if an order is flagged for pickup, that means that the customer is going to come to the establishment and pick up the order themselves. So that being the case, you will have all of your pickup orders filtered off within here. We also have three tabs across the top. The first one is current, means all of the orders that are currently in the queue right now that are active and so on. History will show all of the orders that have taken place and have been closed off. So if someone calls up and says I had an order that was delivered maybe 2 hours ago, but the pizza was really bad or whatever the case, then you can actually retrieve the order from within here, within the history tab. We also have one here that says future orders as well, and we're going to be taking a look at future orders shortly. This pertains to orders that have been placed but do not need to be delivered until a specific time and date. Now coming back to the main tab, the current tab, within here we're going to take an order now. So let's say that I am a Suzy server and I'm sitting here and taking delivery orders. The phone rings, ring ring, I'd like to place an order please. So the first thing the order taker would do is come down to where it says new check, and selecting on this, I'm now brought up with the member retrieval screen, and from here I can select on, for example, new member and put in something. I can also, if I need to type in anything using the keyboard, I've got the keyboard icon. I can retrieve a member's record using a card, for example, a swipe card. I can also do it by last name find, so I can put in their last name and search it that way if they're an existing member. And I can also look them up by telephone find. Now I should point out that this screen here can automatically be set to come up with any one of the card find, last name find, or telephone find. In most cases it would be a telephone find, so when someone calls up, then selecting on this, I would have the window up for the telephone number and I would just enter it in automatically. The first thing you ask is, yes, can I have your home phone number please? You would punch that in and then that would retrieve the member's record if they're already on file. This can also work in conjunction with a call display system as well, so that it would automatically come up with the member record upon recognizing the phone number. Now for what I'm doing here, I'm going to use actually last name find. And in this, I'm brought up with the last name find search screen, and from here, if I just select on the last name find button, it will just give me a master list of everyone I've got. So let's say, for example, Scott Dunlop called up and he wants to place an order. So I'll select on that and click on OK. So now I have Scott Dunlop's record up on the screen, and from here, I'm going to use this member. Now from this point, I'm now brought up with a blank check, and from here I can now take that person's order. So we'll say, for example, they order a pizza. Let's say it's a large pizza with onions, green peppers, and pepperoni. And maybe with that as well, a bottled soda and maybe a Gatorade. So I have a couple of drinks and a large pizza. Now, within this, at this point, a couple of things I can do. If they decide, for example, they want to give you their credit card number over the phone, then I can go into the finish screen and I can apply a payment within here, or I can apply a partial payment even. And with whatever's remaining, I can just save check. Or if it can be just COD, a cash on delivery, then what I can do is just save the check at this point. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, before I leave out of this, one thing I want to really point out that's important here. You'll notice that the sale type is set to delivery. This is very important. Delivery orders will be set for the delivery screen. Pickup orders will be set for the pickup screen. Anything else as far as dine-in and so on like that, they will not show up on the delivery order taker's screen. So if I want this order to show up, I'm going to make sure it's set for a delivery. And then from here, I'll save check. Now you'll notice at this point now, the new order has been added in. So I've got the order here, and within this, total number of minutes. Okay, so it's been 1 minute since this check has been opened, and it's in the process of being made. If I come down to Lawrence Lee, it's been 8 minutes. If I come down to Arnold Axler, it's also been 8 minutes as well. So this shows you the time as it accumulates along. Now, within this, I've got 3 orders up on the screen right now, and I now want to go about maybe delivering a couple of these. So I'm going to sign out, and I'm now going to sign in as a driver. So here I have a new employee who is designated as a driver within the system, and I'm now presented with the driver's screen. Now you'll see within this, I have a listing of those 3 delivery orders that are in the queue right now. Now, as the delivery driver, I can go in here and I can select on which ones I want to deliver. Which ones are ready right now. Now, a few things to take a look at before we continue on with this. First of all, you'll notice I have a thing here that says delivery zone. Okay, so if you have multiple drivers, for example, that have to go around town and so on, what you can do is you can break off your delivery area into different zones. It could be zone A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, north, south, east, west, whatever best suits the establishment's purpose, you can designate as different zones. And so this way, I may have one driver who's going to handle the east part of town and another who will handle the west part of town. And within here, they will be able to see which orders are for the east and which orders are for the west based on what was set up when you set up these members. And so within this now, I'm going to say, for example, I'm going to deliver the order for Mr. Lawrence Lee. So I'll select on that one. And also Arnold Axler. So I'll select on that one as well. So now I have these 2 orders ready to go. And as soon as I selected on one, you'll notice that this button over on the right-hand side became available, which says driver out. So I'm going to select on that now. Now, upon selecting driver out, what happens on the local printer is that a manifest prints off, showing as far as what are the deliveries that are to take place. And within this, it gives the name and the address and driving directions for each one of the deliveries, as well as any information as far as what's owing to the driver as well. Now, if also any of it was paid up front, let's say with a credit card, for example, then those slips would be printed off immediately at the time, and the driver would be given those to take and have them delivered as well. Now I'm going to sign in as Susie Server again as the delivery order taker. And you'll notice now that the 2 orders that have been taken out are now showing up in green, which means that they are now en route. There's the status for it right there. And I also have Joe Driver showing up on the right-hand side, and this indicates that he is now part of the system, and I can filter out all orders specific to Joe Driver as well. Now right now there is a 0 next to this, which means that from the time that this was entered onto this window, no time has accumulated. There, I'm now up to 1, which means that 1 minute has passed and Joe is now on the road for 1 minute. So if anyone calls up and says, if Lawrence Lee calls up and says, well, where's my order? Then I can take a look and say, well, your order has been picked up by Joe Driver and he's on the way, and he's currently been on the road for 1 minute. So he should be there shortly. And also you'll notice down below as well, minutes en route for this specific order. I also have that, as well as who the driver is, who was designated to that order, being Joe Driver. So here I have all this information accumulating itself as time passes, and the delivery order taker will have it all handy within this screen, so that if someone calls up and wants to know what the status is, they can conveniently look it up and retrieve it here. Now what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to have the phone ring again, ring ring, and someone's going to call up and they want to place an order for pickup. So within this, new check. And in this, I'll do last name find, and I have Carl Cassidy, so I'm going to select on him. And within this, I'll take an order. We'll just say a breakfast wrap, French toast, and an egg. Okay, so I have an order here, and within this I'm going to come down to where it says delivery, and I'm going to change this over to pickup. So this is a pickup order. Carl is going to come in and pick up the order. Now, having done that, I'm going to save the check. Now, returning back to the delivery order taker screen, you'll notice that the order does not show up in here. The reason being is that pickup orders are filtered off differently or separately from the delivery orders, so there's no confusion in that. To take a look at the pickup orders, I go over to where it says Pickups on the right-hand side. And selecting on that, there is the order for Carl Cassidy, and it's currently in the process of being made. Now, along with this as well, I have Process Pickup. So should Mr. Cassidy come in, then I can select on this, Process Pickup, and that will retrieve the check up on the screen, and then we can close it off at that point. Now, coming back to the delivery orders now. Within this, let's say that Joe Driver has now made those deliveries. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sign out. I'm going to sign back in, this time as the driver. And you'll see here I've got all of the orders up on the screen. Now, before continuing on, let's just take a look at some of the buttons that we have on this screen. First of all, I've got driver in. Now, if I select on this button at this point, it will now close off all of those checks. I also have cancel delivery as well. So for example, let's say that Arnold Axler changed his mind. He doesn't want the order. So I can actually select on this, cancel the order, and it will be put back in the queue. And then from there, it can be removed from the system. I also have here map. Now, PixelPoint will interface with Microsoft MapPoint. And with that being said, if you have that interface set up, then whatever orders are in the queue here, then you can then select on the map button. And what it will do then is on the local printer, it will print off a map that routes out the entire route to go from the restaurant down to all these locations and back again. And within that, it will also have driving instructions on a separate sheet that will print off telling you turn left here and go right there and for how long and so on like that. Coming down, we also have available. Let's say, for example, as Joe the driver, I was just getting ready to leave, and then the cook says, well, hold on, I got another order. Can you take one more? So then I can select on available. There is the additional order. And then from there, I could select on that, driver out. I will have my manifest printed off for that separate order. And I'm also logged out, so I have that order that I can take along with me. And coming back in, you notice now that I've got all three orders up on the screen. So that's what available will do, is allow you to retrieve available orders as well. Of course, we have all deliveries selected right now being your deliveries, so that focuses specifically on you. That's selected automatically. Now, coming down to the bottom, we also have some buttons as well. Add all tips. Now, within this, let's say, for example, one of these was paid by credit card, and there was a tip that was applied on the credit card for the driver. So what I would do at this point is that upon returning, I would select on this, add all tips, and within here I would have a list of any of the transactions that were credit card related. And I can select on them and apply in the charge tip for that. Your settings. This will take you into the Your Settings screen, allowing you to go through all the different selections like cash outs and clock outs and stuff like that, as regular employees would as well. Billboard, this will take you into the billboard function so that even delivery drivers can take a look at whatever messages are up on the billboard. And also sort by time. So what this will do is take all of the orders that are showing up and sort them based on chronological order, which was the first one in place, the second, the third, and so on like this. So this is what all this does. Now, the final thing we're going to take a look at here then is driver in. So with all of these deliveries done, I'm now returning back to the establishment, and I select on driver in. What this does at this point now, it closes off all those checks, it settles them all off, and now I am back in the queue. So if I was to sign back in, I'm now ready to take additional orders. Of course, I haven't placed any more at this point, but they will all show up within here. And signing back in as the delivery order taker, you'll notice now that those orders have been cleared off. Joe Driver is still in the queue in the system. And if I go over to history, there's the orders that have been delivered. And one final thing, what we can do here is go over to pickups, and within here, there we go, there is my current pickup order, and within this we'll say Carl Cassidy just arrived. So we'll select on him and process pickup. And now there's his order with Carl Cassidy, and now I can close it off.